Alright. I don't know if I should be rolled or not. I don't know.
Live from the City of Angels.
No, this is
it is time for the MMT. See, welcome in here. All this film back on Monday, and what I want to have happen here during this stream is if you have a question about the film, come in and comment. If you're watching on X, you need to go to YouTube, search for Midnight Movie Talk with Eric Weber, and you will find it, and then you place a comment there. I'll get to as many as possible. Got plenty of time here this morning to discuss this film because I know this is a major, big-time debate going on in the culture wars. And it's really a shame because ultimately, as you guys know, when I evaluate these films, we're talking about, does the film work as a cinematic experience, right? Not all of the other bullshit that gets glommed onto the film. Now, that doesn't mean I don't understand it, nor will I discuss it here, but I need you to understand how we handle things here. I am as objective as you can be, and when I watch this film, I try to put everything out of my mind, including all of Christopher Nolan's vast filmography that preceded this, and just look at what we have in front of us here on this Wednesday morning, again live. Happy you're here. Let's do it. Let's get the overall snapshot of where I am on this film, and then I'll break down in intricate detail where it works, where it doesn't, and there are plenty of both of those things, okay, as we discuss this film here today. Just when we get to the big idea, I think it's really important to just state this right now. This is not Christopher Nolan's best film, okay? There's reasons, but you ask me, what is that? Just so we get this out of the way right now, it's Interstellar, because you have that emotional bond of father and daughter, obviously in son too, but really more father and daughter, and you just have the vast expanse of the universe. All of that, for me, that's my pick. But as we discuss here, the Odyssey, let's go ahead and bring it in. This is my reaction that I had just moments after I walked out of Universal. Had a chance to see this in IMAX 70mm. Now, this is the preferred format. As you guys know, Nolan shot this thing in IMAX 70mm. Gives you that massive scope and size, and people are flying all over the globe to come to these theaters that have the IMAX 70mm installed, and the screenings are sold out. You know, we're going to talk about box office here in a few minutes, but you're talking about an event, right? Nolan's an event director. No matter what all these people say about I'm not going to see it because the casting, they're going to go because they're curious and they want to be part of the conversation. They don't want FOMO. Okay, here's where we are on this film, and then we will break it down piece by piece here. Let's get the overall. This is colossal size filmmaking. It's got all the Nolan hallmarks, the storytelling cadence, right? The way that he lets the story unfold. You get that here. And I know this sounds weird, but I was definitely proven right in what I'm going to show you here in a minute. It's very Oppenheimer-y in so many ways. And I know you're like, what? Obviously, yeah, it's Nolan, I get it. But here's the thing. No, they're really similar, okay? Non-linear structure, that's one of the things I think overall thematically you talk about this film, very much of an Oppenheimer-esque film, okay? This goes full throttle, stalls out, full throttle, stalls out, okay? I think that's one of the issues to pacing here. You know, you just have kind of a herky-jerky thing going on many times throughout this film. 3 hours long. It feels epically long. Guys, you feel this runtime. There is no debating that. I mean, when I went to see this on Monday, when I was out of this, I said to myself, I just felt like I went on a transatlantic flight, right? And that's not really a positive, okay? So you're going to see what's happening here. You're already like, wait a second. He likes it, but that's where we are here today. This is not a full-on rave review, nor is it a wholesale trashing, right? This is not Obsession, which I was all over, calling it the best film of the 2020s horror-wise, right? A masterpiece in horror, I believe. It's such a, wow, what a just bang-on directorial effort, and one of our favorite movies of the year. It's not Supergirl, wholesale garbage, okay? this is still a big recommend for the cinematic value. People are asking me, what's cinematic value? Hello. That means when you step into a theater, are you getting that big screen experience? And that's why we go, okay? And this film is that. So yes, I'm going to have a recommend on that. But there are things that we need to discuss here on this live MMTE. Okay, let's get into it. Let's break it down as we get into exactly where we are. As I mentioned, this is colossal size filmmaking. You guys know when you get Nolan, you get that big feel, you get that IMAX 70 millimeter as I saw it here. You know, just quickly on that whole thing, I'm not a big snob when it comes to that. You know, if you want to see this in Prime, Dolby, 4DX, I think you're gonna be fine. I'm more of a wide screen than a tall screen. If you've seen IMAX 70 millimeter, what you're getting is you're getting more of a longer, right? It's still massive, but longer. I want it to be wide. So in a way, right, when you don't see this in IMAX 70 millimeter, you're going to chop off the top and the bottom, which will give you the illusion of a wider feel. So in a way, I might recommend you see this regular IMAX or Dolby. I just don't think it's that important, okay? Some people are going to say, oh, it is. Well, yeah, because they're snobs, because they think that you get some kind of, you know, brownie points. Hey, everybody, I saw it in IMAX 70 millimeter. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to do that. I don't think you should see this film in a regular laser basic kind of thing. That's the other reason this film's going to do well, as we kind of bounce around between the merits and the things that are off here and box office. You're talking about a film that's going to end up selling so many PLFs, right? We talked about the IMAX 70 millimeter sold out at virtually every location for weeks and weeks. You know, Universal for weeks, London for, I think, 3 weeks, right? The BFI. All of these locations are just slammed. And I'm not just talking about, you know, 1, 3, well, this is a 3-hour movie, 1, 4, 7, and 10. I'm talking about 1 a.m. I'm talking about 6 a.m. That's what these screenings, they've added them everywhere. Okay, let's talk about how it's Oppenheimer-y. Look, you go back and you talk about Oppenheimer as a cinematic achievement. I think clearly it's the best picture of 2023. And one of his stronger films, I like Oppenheimer more. Let me tell you why, and we're going to get to it in a minute. One of the reasons I love Oppenheimer is that Ludwig Göransson's score. It is one of his best, if not his singular best. I think Tenet's right there too. The problem here is Ludwig's score, we'll get to it in a second, not as strong, okay? It's not as iconic. And, you know, I had a chance to see Oppenheimer at UCLA with the live score, the orchestra there, and it was one of those experiences that blow you away. You know, when you get to those moments, those, you know, those big, huge feeling compositions that are just perfectly matted to the film. You just don't have that here, and it's a little disappointing. You know, what I see from Ludwig, let's just do it just quickly. When you talk about Ludwig, you're talking about kind of a little bit of an erratic thing going on now. Love Tenet, Oppenheimer, you get here and it's not a bad score. I think it gets better when we get to Troy. It's just not as definitive, and, like, you know, I think that's the word I said earlier, iconic, you know, where you just go, oh, I know what that is. This is not, it's just not quite there. So that's an issue. One of the reasons I go to the cinema, I would love to hear a great score, and I think that that's definitely not as strong as it needs to be here. Not bad, just it needs to be elevated. You go and you talk about a score that elevates a film. We talk about this all the time. It's a Social Network. You talk about Reznor Ross. When I first saw that film, he starts walking into Harvard Square and you get those ominous tones and you're like, oh my God, these choices. That's what I'm looking for, right? You know, look at a Michael Levi, look at a Johnny Greenwood. You know, these are the things, and I used to say Hans Zimmer, obviously, but I'm talking about people that maybe you don't know. You're looking at, you want that, and I think that is not here. But look, Oppenheimer and feel, not just in construction and flashbacks, nonlinear, all that. You're talking about the overall theme of a man who has witnessed the horrors of war and then having, yes, the PTSD that comes along with that. And you talk about that, and that's what Nolan, and I pulled it up here and I'll show you guys. And it's just funny because when I said this, I know that this is exactly what he wanted. As you guys see, as I mentioned, I said, as odd as it might sound, very Oppenheimer-y feeling. And then look, here's this. Jon Stewart was talking. Because it's a, listen, Red, I don't go see movies multiple times. Like, You got to remember, again, an 88 for me is a Richter scale is a solid B plus. It's a Y. It's a recommend. You know, I'm sorry if you get other people that give you like a man. 7 out of 10 is not a recommend. 7 out of 10 is like, yeah, don't even bother. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I think his live stream is over. His live streams don't last that long.
Why are you guys watching movies more than once? Like, it's fine if you want to. I've watched Drive like 50 times. I think it's one of my favorite films of all time. But overall, like, I love Bone Temple. I've not rewatched Bone Temple. Loved Obsession. I've only watched a little bit of Obsession again. I went back in and watched like the first half. And I'm like, I'm good. Because once you know where it's going, especially on a film that hinges on, you know, unpredictability, then it's tough to watch again. Like Sixth Sense, let's go watch that again. Okay. You know, someone said The Game. Remember that Fincher's movie? Oh, what a film. Someone had a great comment that said, the shitty part about The Game is you can only watch it once.
The time has...
It's true. Now, listen, I'm not saying you can't watch this again, but I don't want to see it again. I don't think it has a high rewatchability factor. I'm going at 10:30 Thursday. I don't want to see this now. No, Joe. No, Joe. Here's the thing is, I just want you to understand that I'm being fair. And I think that everything I said is 100% on target, and you don't see me. Look, Joe, and I know you appreciate this, Joe, because I appreciate your comments on Twitter and here. Everybody's watching. I don't do things like Gore and Allen, right, where one of them is a good guy, good cop, bad cop, and or they already have their agenda ready to go. And yeah, I'll drag him. I mean, it is what it is. I like Allen. Allen's a good guy, but I don't think he's a bad person. I'm not saying Chris is, but they have an agenda, and I don't have an agenda. And, you know, people say, well, he has agenda. He makes fun of critics. He says mean things. Too bad. I do whatever I want. I don't need to be policed by you, the word police, okay? So don't even bother. But you got to understand is that when you are objective to a fault, you're going to say some things people don't like, and that's going to piss some people off. And I think that's what you get out of me more than anyone else, is that you don't know what I'm going to do. I don't directorial glaze. A little bit here with Nolan. I admit a little of that because, you know, he is a great director, guys. Come on, let's not pretend he's not. That's just silly. You might have issues with Oppenheimer, and I certainly do. I mean, that last act of Oppenheimer, right? It peaks, you get your climax with the bomb, and then we go back into the Senate for hearings. You're like, oh my God, that film, it goes off too fast. It's early. I don't want to say some things that I normally say at night, but right. So I think here you're just talking about a film that has a lot of positives, but definitely has some things going against it, right? It's fair, Joe. I think we're doing that fair. More comments here. And do you think the anti-woke people will simmer down now that the movie is well received? No, they're going to come back in because they have to double down. You know, I know that Gary Nerdrotic watches the channel. He pays attention to what I do, and I appreciate that. Hey, Gary, you know, listen, I know you know I'm objective, and I don't have, a true agenda at this stuff. But you look at, they have to do what they have to do because their viewership depends on that, right? What I do is, I mean, essentially for me, but it is for the good of cinema. And, you know, when I call out a shill, when I was dragging that dude for defending Supergirl and not saying that he gets a paycheck from DC, that doesn't make me the popular guy calling these people out. I had someone, did I tell you this? Let me tell you a story real quick. So the other day I'm at Universal, IMAX 70mm, and a woman from Universal came walking up and to me directly, walked all the way up directly to me in the middle, right? And said, hey, can I get your name and who you are and to make sure you're on the list? So I told him who I was. And then, because I have sources, I found out that one of the critics that I drag tried to get me booted out of the Odyssey screening. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine being that petty? Can you imagine being that full of literally like, dude, how do you have that much headspace? Allow someone else to take that much headspace. So I just laugh because here's the funny thing is, guess how many screenings I go to that are press screenings? I've talked about these a billion times. I'm not a fan of going to press screenings because I don't want to be around those people. And conversely, maybe they don't want to be around me. Perfect. It's a wonderful relationship. I don't want to change it. Last time I went to a movie, I think it might have been Oppenheimer. It's been a long time. So you're talking about, I don't care. Like, if they think that's going to, like, do something, like, I care. I'll go see it Thursday with you guys. Like, I saw this early. No big deal. But I think it's funny, right? Because that's what happens when you're the ace. When you're the guy who calls these people out. Because people don't like that. People don't like a light being shined on them. And the end of the day is, I'm ruthless. because I need to be, because these people are compromised. I'm not compromised. No one's ever said I'm compromised. No one's ever said I'm agenda driven. They say he's mean. Too bad. Two different things. Don't even start. You don't even know what you're talking about. I was late to the video. Did you already discuss some critic trying to get? Yeah, I just did. Robert, and that's something.
Yes.
After an insane run of films followed by arguably your crown achievement with audiences, critics, box office, and Oscars, you adapt a 3,000-year-old tale required by most school curriculums. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is here. The epic tale of Odysseus trying to get home after the events of the Trojan War. So much of this movie has been talked about at length already, from tickets being released a year in advance, to its full IMAX capture, to its casting, to its dialogue, to political culture wars, and it is finally being released worldwide for us audiences to have. Speaking personally, Christopher Nolan has transformed from a director I certainly admired but stayed at arm's distance with, to bowing at his feet after Oppenheimer. I really don't have a problem saying, and I don't think it's a debate, he is the most popular working director today. He has become a brand unto himself. People
Besides James Cameron.
Score.
Yes.
Oppenheimer, great score. Also Ludwig Göransson, Swedish composer, who also did The Odyssey. It's the worst score for a Nolan film ever.
Ooh.
And usually I think the score in a Nolan movie does the heavy lifting.
In a lot of cases, yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
think of the Dark Knight trilogy. Music's great. Like all of his films, he really.
Oh, the Dark Knight soundtrack slaps.
It's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Not
Interstellar, great. Inception, same. I'll defend all of those.
But
great soundtracks.
But the sound mixing of
god awful
dialogue as opposed to sound effects and
it's
ADR,
always,
whatever ADR is used.
Island of Java. And you?
It's always been an issue.
Foley.
Yeah, everything.
Do people still? I mean, with gum, is there still Foley in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Do they still
I
have
will
people
bleed you
like
dry.
walking on sand and yeah?
They even have. I met the guy at a convention once who did what they call.
Shut your mouth!
You are slowing down, big man.
Do you ever shut up? Do you ever shut up?
You move well, but I move better.
Not so quick now.
how you die!
Overconfident. Like all Templars I have defeated.
Nemala. How many times must I warn you against being so impulsive?
I have everything under control.
He has you figured out, and so you've lost the advantage.
I can handle him, Aelin.
Be that as it may, we have more important business to attend to. Where is the assassin?
We need to move. I kick this shit and take this shit and take this shit and
Dove into the wreck!
Does he have the keystone?
It's on him! It's on his belt!
You have changed your mind about killing us then!
You have something we need.
How is he still standing?
I see now why they sent for us. Have it your way, then. The keystone? Yes! Yes, this is it!
Leave him. He'll be dead in moments. And the girl won't pursue us if she's trying to save his life.
Cruel. But efficient. Well played.
I like keeping you on your toes, old man.
Yasker! Yasker! Hey, it's okay. I'm here.
The ornament. I could not find an opening.
Look at that. I don't kill. I'm not putting up with them. They can fucking leave. This one. Enjoyed its reaction. Shut up, child. I'll pass.
There's a term for it called breaths and efforts.
How long did we talk about it last week, X-Ray Girl?
Yeah, that was a lot.
I can check my notes. One
I
second.
think it was like an hour.
Yeah, now
My notes. Oh my gosh, she keeps notes.
or I was
It's actually spot on an hour.
Yeah. Remember
Get
when
ready
Rings of
for
Power came out
three.
and our entire
it.
No.
No, did you hate it?
No.
Parts of it, I'm gonna guess. That's the Odyssey. If you're-
My opinion
if you're
didn't
being
change
honest,
though.
if
I
you're
went back to the Batman 3 times. So
I
I
saw
saw
it
it first, and then I saw it again. Opinion hasn't changed. And then I watched Penguin, and I'm like, maybe my opinion has changed now, and it didn't
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
No, that fucking Riddler being an incel
That was
like
dumb.
pisses me off to
The
no end.
last third sucks.
It's so stupid. And then none of his
Unnecessary.
plan made sense. And when you think about Batman's detecting in it, it's pretty retarded.
Yeah.
So, what's up, Epic Mike?
These fucking people, they think they're so important. They think they define movies.
All right. This is Chris, you put it best. How did you describe this, Chris?
aren't necessarily here to see the actors or even the tale of the Odyssey. People are here to see Christopher Nolan's adaptation of it. He is the star of the movie. And paying attention to this movie from afar has really captivated me. Seeing someone at such a high with the immense pressure and expectations of the movie-going world on his shoulders, how can this movie stand up to expectations? Well, I had a chance to see it on glorious 70mm IMAX the other day, and I thought this movie was an absolute bang. Will you all allow me to be pretentious just for a moment? Okay, something I really try not to do. But regardless of if you hate this movie or if you love this movie, but seeing this on the biggest screen possible, surrounded by a bunch of people who are just as excited or curious to be there as you are, with something of this scale, there is just nothing like it. There is simply nothing like it in the entire world. And one's own movie-going experience should absolutely factor into how you feel about a movie. I don't care. If I had the best day ever and the best setup ever with this movie, that counts. Just as it would count is if I got fired from my job and got told I was a piece of shit and got divorced and then saw this movie, that would affect how I feel about it too. What am I saying? And I know, especially with Christopher Nolan, it is so easy for people to just overhype and overglaze, where they feel like they just put him on an insane pedestal. But the things that I love about Nolan as a now blockbuster filmmaker, they are in this movie dialed up to 1,000. The action war set pieces here are goddamn thrilling. It's kind of hard to describe that feeling, but I feel like I've said this before. It feels like when you're watching a scene, a switch will get flipped in my head where I know he's about to go crazy. I've had similar moments in The Dark Knight, just as I've had with a biopic in Oppenheimer. They are in the Odyssey. The way he is able to set up each action set piece is just the best, like no one else can. The scene with the Trojan horse is largely no dialogue. It is just Ludwig Göransson's score, which is so goddamn good. Again, he makes it out of the, just what the fuck. We got to have some conversations about Ludwig Göransson as a composer. We got to have some conversations. That's another video. But not only are they set up in such a captivating way, not only are they edited extremely well, but the craft is all there. It's gorgeously shot. You know what you're seeing is largely practical. And it is moments like that where I'm just grateful to see it in a theater. Nonetheless, a 70mm IMAX theater, which there's only a handful of them in the world, and somehow they're in Arizona. The jaw is legitimately open and ready for business. Holy shit, that sounds crazy. It's in those moments where I feel like Christopher Nolan is the only one who can do that right now. My soul left my body frequently. But if I'm being honest, that was never my concern. I don't walk into a Christopher Nolan epic worried that the set pieces might be bad. No. That's not something I'm concerned with. My concern was, yes, this is a huge movie. Yes, the scale and scope of it is just incredible. But how would I actually feel about the characters? Would I actually care? There are plenty of movies where I am certainly impressed by, but ultimately I don't really care for. And a lot of those movies are centered around war. And while there are certainly some shaky moments that I'll get to, by the third act, I was so completely invested in their characters. I was invested in Matt Damon as Odysseus getting home, reuniting with his son, reuniting with his wife, and there were moments that actually managed to make it feel emotional. Because even knowing what I did know already about the Odyssey, I wasn't sure how they'd handle some of those moments. And I've always wanted Christopher Nolan to kind of go back to that same feeling as I had watching Interstellar of Matthew McConaughey watching those messages. I kind of wanted to get emotional. I wanted to have a tear in my eye. Because as much as I like something like Oppenheimer or Dunkirk or Tenet, those movies aren't doing that for me. And while I want to be clear, as someone who loves Interstellar, the Odyssey does not reach those same heights. It's definitely closer than some of those other ones in terms of the emotion. And the main theme of this movie does strike a chord really throughout. And what is the theme? If I put it simply, it's the cost of violence. There's a lot of talk in the movie of defying the gods. And while that might seem kind of otherworldly by the sheer mention of the fact of the gods, defying or denying your own humanity without giving too much away these heroic acts of war that one might think, especially just on a surface level, it dives deeper into that as someone sees a whole town burned down to the ground before him and really has to reckon with what he's done. I don't think I'm reaching here when I say that the Odyssey and Oppenheimer share some of those themes. A chain reaction that causes nothing but violence and destruction. There's a level of guilt that you can see in Odysseus, and it really makes that last act feel worth it in the end, especially because, as I mentioned, this movie is not perfect. I like Oppenheimer more. The middle act of this movie certainly feels dense, and there still are some of those Christopher Nolan tendencies where it feels like he can't help himself, a bit of overcomplicating certain framing and narration, certain writing that feels off. And while this might seem crazy, because it certainly doesn't hide from that, but I do kind of wonder, like, how much does Christopher Nolan care about the mythological aspects of this story? Because while they are certainly in there, it feels like he's certainly more interested in the human aspects of it versus what the mythological tales can help support with that. So while I wouldn't say that the second act has stuff that you can just get rid of, it certainly does feel a bit excessive. There's a lot of fluff there. Now, that doesn't bother me in terms of length, because I think this movie is still paced very well, but it more so speaks to the relentless momentum that this movie had, that when it feels like it comes to a screeching halt, that can just be jarring sometimes. Now, the performances, I think all around are pretty good. My standouts are, I think Matt Damon is good. I buy into him as Odysseus, but I think the main two are Anne Hathaway and John Leguizamo, because not only are they just all great actors, but they really kept me in the story. I am very curious to see what people think of Tom Holland, because I think there are moments in this movie where I think Tom Holland is excellent, and there are moments where Tom Holland kind of pulls me out of the movie. Now, is that by his own doing? I don't know. Is it the fact that I look at him and I'm just like, that is Spider-Man? Maybe, I don't know. But I am very curious to see, and upon rewatch, definitely want to see how I feel about that. Now, admittedly, I am a little bit more conflicted on that middle act than I probably let on here in this video. But truth be told, when I woke up this morning after seeing it, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And I really feel like this is a movie that when I see it again, which I will in a few days, I know it's just gonna fit in even better. Damn, that sounds crazy too. I think this movie is undoubtedly impressive, and it is one of my favorite movies of the year, but you know how you respond to Christopher Nolan movies. If ultimately the spectacle and scale and scope of Nolan movies don't really move you like that, I don't think this movie will change your mind. But I will say this is probably one of his efforts that best balance the emotion and the spectacle. I'm gonna give myself some room here on my rating, so don't be surprised. But for me, The Odyssey, 4 stars. Feels like a guaranteed half-star bump on a rewatch, but you know, follow me on Letterboxd, link in the description. Let me know what you all think once you see it, but yeah, I'm glad we can hopefully get this talk over with now. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.
No.
Else. What do you guys think of that? Let's just talk about that. Now over.
Talking about a Christopher Nolan movie, which means you know I'm going to talk about Interstellar. The Pen. As in the sponsor of this video is brought to you by Novium. Bring it. Talking about a Christopher Nolan movie, which means you know I'm going to talk about Interstellar. The Pen. As in the sponsor of this video is brought to you by Novium, bringing us that stylish, innovative flavor.
I'm getting sick and tired of this guy. People cause me problems, man.
Talking about a Christopher Nolan movie, which means you know I'm going to talk about Interstellar. The Pen. As in the sponsor of this video is brought to you by Novium, bringing us that stylish, innovative flair with their hover pen. A sleek, futuristic
Fucking up my whole goddamn vibe, man.
looking pen to bring your desk, office, or nerd cave into the future. And the pens are not only high quality, they look cool. The Interstellar edition here tilts at a 23.5 degree angle, a nod to the Earth's axis, also won Time Magazine's award for one of the best innovations. The premium conversation starter and a mantelpiece. And now Christopher Nolan brings us his adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey. So let's talk about it. So The Odyssey is the new film directed by director Christopher Nolan. It stars Matt Damon as Odysseus, and this is the story of the Odyssey. More than that, it's Christopher Nolan's telling of the Odyssey, which kind of sounds like a no shit moment, but it's decidedly very Nolan does the Odyssey. Odysseus is the king of Ithaca. He was also in the Trojan War for 10 years. Then he and his men are going to sail home, and Poseidon and the rest of the gods...
Sorry, but I'm in no hurry. I'm in no hurry, so...
No. Stay with me. Come on. Stay with me. Come on, Yasuke, stay with me. Don't do this. You have to stay with me, please. Somebody help! Come on, big man, stay with me. We'll fix you up in no time. No, Yasuke! Yasuke!
Where am I? What is this? I am defeated. But am I dead? No, not dead. But I am dying.
Control master.
Someone over there. Is that my mother? This path began with my mother's murder. You have been avenged, Mama. There is so much to tell you about. I wonder what you will say to me, Mama, if you are proud of the man I became. There, in the distance, Lord Nobunaga. Lord Nobunaga forced me into the warrior I became.
What's more, you have earned your place next to me as a samurai.
Your betrayer also lies dead, my friend. Perhaps we will soon share tea together. There must be more for me to see here. Over there, it looks like... Yes, I remember this moment very well. Naue, Junjiro, you have showed me forgiveness and compassion. You have made me a better man.
You still want to walk beside me? Follow this wind wherever it takes us?
I will miss you both. Thank you, my friends. Not my friends, my family. I cannot leave you behind. Not yet. Death has already won. Then I will defeat it too, if I must. It is time for us to rest. Our fight is over. I will not leave my family behind. No doubt, I will die in combat one day, but it will not be today. Not today.
Say, we'll just see about that. This is the 10-year story of a man in Greek mythology trying to get home. That's 10 years on top of the 10 years he already spent at the War of Troy. Trying to get home in a world pre-Google Maps, in a world pre-MapQuest but no printer. We all remember. 10 years, minimum. All the while, these suitors have invaded his home. They're trying to take his throne. So his wife and son, played by Anne Hathaway and Tom Holland, got to deal with that. While they're trying to hold on to hope that Odysseus is still alive out there. Now, what I found interesting is I heard, we'll call it a rumor because it turned out to be not too true, no influencers screening the Odyssey early. Then all the early reactions and reviews were influencers talking about how great the Odyssey was. They were gushing about it, which led me to the natural thought of, wow, these early reactions really love the Odyssey. Man, you mean this movie might suck? No, the Odyssey is epic. And that could mean it's just big, but this movie's great. First of all, Matt Damon. Never would have cast him as Odysseus, not gonna lie, but the dude clocks into work. I thought it was gonna be the Matt Damon show, you know? It's like, okay, if he shines, if he's good in the movie, great. Most in this movie having more than a few minutes of screen time have a scene, monologue, or moment that makes them stand out. Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, I mean, they're all reliably great. Another standout for me was Himesh Patel. I don't know, I just didn't expect a member of Odysseus's crew to go toe-to-toe with Matt Damon. The biggest standout, surprise standout for me, John Leguizamo. Amazing in here. I thought John Leguizamo being in this movie was going to be Mia Goth being in this movie. Mia Goth is in this movie for 30 seconds. So that kind of shows the power of the Christopher Nolan orbit, you know, the gravitational pull. I get the feeling actors out there are like, I don't care if it's the lead, a minor role, a background role, or a grip. I want to be involved in his next film. So you're going to have Mia Goth playing a very minor role in here. More than 30 seconds. A minute. But John Leguizamo was a much bigger role than I thought he was going to be in here. Man, he surprised me. This sounds like a backhanded compliment. I don't mean for it to be so. Pattinson, you just want to smack. The dude absolutely plays it up. He owns it. Which there is cruelty to dogs in this movie too. I'll give you that warning. Us dog people and all. You know how it is. Yeah. We dog people are like, gotta mention that. One scene in particular is, it was a bit much. Props to Nolan for not shying away from the ugly parts of the times that were. That said, it was rough to watch. But the big thing, the selling point of this film is the fact that it is very Christopher Nolan does the Odyssey. It's in the vast, enormous, expansive world that feels equal parts mythical and real. And where you're used to seeing boats and ships and landscape, but you see the haze of green screen. I didn't run into that here. It looked impressive. It looked real. More than that, it felt real. That's what cinema's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you feel something. There are scenes in this movie that are straight up horror movie-esque. Funny, the other...
Everybody was telling me that I needed a developer to build an app. I want to show you personal finance tracker, dark theme, transaction, budgets, goals, nothing technical. Sending it. It's actually general.
The Templars.
Yes. The Yes. Yes. The Holy Grail. It's a kind of bird. Shut up.
The door. Could it be the observatory Captain Yong told us about?
No. Whatever they're after. It's
Then I'll head there to investigate.
Now wait. Defeating just one of them was nearly too much.
We can't allow them to get what they're after.
Irmão, posso confiar en ti para proteger como tua vida.
Did you ask him to babysit me?
What? No. Yasuke promised that he would stay here and recover.
You did ask him to babysit me!
I'm not doing it for you. I swore to strike back at the Templars for what they did to Ermigo.
Let's send these Templars back to the ocean that's...
Yasuke, rest well. I will scout ahead. Join me in Wakasa.
Master Rafino, sir! Should we not...
That won't be necessary.
Why not? We know how to kick and...
You can help by keeping Yasuke in bed.
Come on, say it.
Promise me you will not face them alone.
If I see an opening, I'm taking their lives. But I promise to be careful. Stop looking at me like it's the last time.
The door is open. They must already be inside.
So they found all the glyphs.
We'll need to sneak up on them.
Follow my lead.
The glyphs on these walls.
The observatory.
Unclear. Cassandra, of course.
Incredible.
Don't fall for her trick, Namala.
I am holding a real piece of Eden, Eamon.
I told you about Marrakesh, didn't I?
Remind me.
There was a vault, not unlike this one. She found it first, of course, and filled it with items from every corner of the world. She even left the battle axe imbued with their powers.
Of all people, why would she leave pieces of Eden behind?
Because they're hollowed out husks, all but stripped of their original powers. You see, she leaves behind just enough so-called treasures to sate the appetite of greedy fools, when in fact...
Probably because I'm playing Assassin's Creed Shadows and it's now showing Cassandra from
hidden safely below.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
You hadn't told me about Marrakesh. I would have remembered.
Don't forget it, Nimala.
A hidden entrance.
Wait. You saw what they did to Yasuke.
I also remember what they did to your friend Ermigo. People like them never stop unless someone steps in. Today, it's you and me, friend.
No way. No way!
This observatory, what do you think it is?
I don't know. Putting an observatory underground is strange if you ask me.
Perhaps it's a code name for something else?
I don't think so. Templars are usually quite literal. This is easy. Shinobis have such an easy job.
Sitting at the hideout is much more dangerous.
Yes, well, Tomiko lives there.
Good point.
This place is...
almost magical? We have to get up there. Can you manage that?
What? All the way up there?
If the old Black Cross could do it, so can you.
Well, ladies first. Now wait, could you activate this... bridge?
There must be another one close by. Come on. Where is it?
Come on, I need your help here. You need to stand on that, glowy thing.
What?
When was the last time you
Just stand guard here.
I see you, assassin.
Go ahead, I'll cover you.
Got it.
Still, be careful out there! Else I am terrified of what Yasuke is doing.
Got you!
You can't hold me off forever.
Oh, I can't wait till you get here.
Come on, I need your help here. She's above you!
Stay here. She's mine.
Go! I'll provide cover fire! Hold on, I'm reloading! Get ready to move! Now!
Try again. Stand and fight, you coward!
I killed your friend. What chance do you have? How many more need to die before you learn?
2 more, starting with you. You should never have come here!
You're starting to annoy me. Just you and me, assassin.
I'll make this quick. I'll make this quick. That all you got? That was for Yasuke.
Eamon! I could use your help here!
He can't help you!
Eamon! Have you found the observatory?
It's not here.
It has to be! The signs!
It no longer matters. It seems our purpose here is to clean up a mess after all.